Welcome to the Fire and Earth podcast with your hosts, Jason Mefford and Kathy Gruver. Fire and Earth, giving you the keys to unlock your limitless potential.
Hey everybody, it's time for another episode of What's on Your Desk?
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fire and Earth podcast. I'm your co-host, Kathy Gruver.
And I'm Jason Mefford. Hey, we thought we'd do another one of these episodes that you're going to hear every so often about what's on your desk.
Yes.
Because we had such a fun time last time doing this, so we just got to do it again.
We so did. And I'm going to have to start gathering more. Well, I have so much crap on my desk. Not crap. Very meaningful things. Some of it's crap. I'll be honest. Some of it's crap. But I thought it was a great idea and it sparked a lot of conversation. And I had a friend who used to say that she could walk into anybody's house and by looking at the first three things she saw, know everything about that person. And she was pretty damn good at it, I have to say. So, what is your workspace? What is your desk? What are those things that you surround yourself by saying to those people? What is it saying to you? What ego state, what personality, what are you bringing out in yourself by what you're surrounded by? So I love these episodes, so I'm really excited about it.
Well, and you can learn a lot from people by the things that they have around them. Because it's interesting that you bring that up about your friend, because, in my professional career, I interview a lot of people, and in auditing and kind of in that environment, building rapport, trying to learn a little bit about people. I would use this technique as well to be able to kind of understand and know about the person, to be able to know how to communicate with them, learn a little bit more, build that rapport with them. So it's even funny, like I was chatting back and forth with a friend, because I just kind of had this feeling like maybe she wasn't having a great day. Mm-hmm. So I just sent her a quick text, and she came back and said, "Oh, I'm scared of your Vulcan mind tricks." And it's like, okay, Vulcan mind tricks. I know she's a Trekkie, not a Star Wars geek, right? So it's like, okay, because if she was a Star Wars geek, she would have said your Jedi mind tricks, right? So just even picking up on that, I kind of knew or learned something more about her,
right?
Which, again, makes our relationship deeper, if you will, and I learned more about her. So yeah.
Absolutely. But also, to your credit, what that says about you is that you're present with that person. You're aware of your surroundings. And remember, a couple episodes back, we did that listening of first person, second person, third person. And the third was taking into account the entire group, the entire environment of what's going on. So when you walk into a person's desk and you want that promotion, you want that sales call, you want that, what are you seeing around that you can go, oh, is that you and your wife at Bora Bora? Oh, I've been there too. I've always wanted to go. You don't want to BS people. You don't want to make shit up. You don't want to be that guy. I don't know what that was, but
it was.
I got too much sleep. Okay. Finally, a good thing. I finally slept a lot. So anyway, but that's a testament to you. You're paying attention. You're being present with that person. You want to make those human connections. And for people who are introverted, and I just threw a giant birthday party for myself, and it was really fascinating watching the introverted people kind of stand off by themselves going, "No one please talk to me," or "No one talk to me. Please don't anyone talk to me," or just one person talk to me. I had 30 people shoved in my teeny little house. And what I did is I opened up the party by playing Human Bingo. I don't know if you've ever played this. I put a piece of paper, Willie's, California native, Ariston, never traveled outside of the country, that kind of thing. And you had to walk around and find people that fit that category. Couldn't repeat names, so you couldn't put Joe for everything. But it got you meeting other people, because these were people from all walks of my life. This wasn't just all trapeze folks or all massage clients or all girlfriends. I mean, this was people from every aspect of my life. And so many people complimented me on, I loved that game because it got us talking to other people. And pay attention, ask questions, try to build that rapport. Okay. Jason, what's on your desk?
All right. Well, I'm going to do this one first today. It's Mr. Rogers. Yeah. Okay. And even if I push this little button here.
I like to think of all kinds of helpers in our world.
I like to think of all kinds of helpers in our world. He says like 3 or 4 different things, but Why I have Mr. Rogers on my desk? I love Mr. Rogers. Okay, I grew up watching him, and there's some characteristics that he has that I want to emulate. His kindness, his compassion and caring for people. I want to show up. I want that ego state to show up a lot, right? And so having him on my desk reminds me of that. In fact, one of my little morning rituals is I listen to some music, and one of those songs is "It's Such a Good Feeling to Know You're Alive."
It's
Okay.
such a happy feeling. Yeah. Aw.
And so every day I get a little boost of Fred Rogers, with that. And another thing, about him is, as we've talked about ego states before, and about stepping into or trying to get into that ego state. If you watch the show, Mr. Rogers would come through the front door, right, in his suit jacket.
Yeah.
He would go to the closet. He would take off, right, his jacket. He would put on a sweater. He would go over, sit down, take off his dress shoes, and put on sneakers.
Yep.
And so, to me, too, it's a great reminder, like we've talked about before, of getting present, trying to move into that ego state. When he took off the jacket, the suit jacket, and put on the sweater, he becomes Mr. Rogers. Yeah. And so the ego states, like we've been talking about, I mean, he physically did some things to get into that role. And so again, this is what we've been preaching for over a year now, folks. Here's some things that you can do to try to show up that way. And so that's why I have Mr. Rogers on my desk.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And I not only grew up watching Mr. Rogers, I grew up in Pittsburgh where it was filmed. And my father worked for and then eventually owned a paint store that provided all the theatrical paint to any movies and stuff that was happening in Pittsburgh. So guess who got to be multiple times on the set of Mr. Rogers?
I did not know that about you.
And this is so cool. This is one of my 3 truths and a lie thing. My first television appearance ever was on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I was one of the kids that fed the fish. Yes.
No way. Okay. See,
so
now
I
even
had autographed pictures, and I had oh my God. Yeah, because I grew up down the street essentially from where they were filming that, and I got to pull the puppets, and oh my God, it was the coolest thing ever. And as a little kid, you're just kind of because it's somebody you see on TV, and I was probably 4 or 5. I couldn't even tell you how old I was, but that experience stuck with me, and I love Mr. Rogers, and I watched the documentary, which was so moving to me, and it's just because it also takes me back home, when they show the aerial shot of the neighborhood. That's what I grew up with. That's what I grew up with. So we need a Mr. Rogers right now, definitely.
Well, and see, again, for everybody who's listening, right? We've known each other. We've been friends for 2-3 years now, at least. I did not know that about you. Now I do, because we're having this conversation, all because of, my little Mr. Rogers that's sitting on my desk.
Yep. Cool. Okay. So I don't, it's interesting because some of the things I have on my desk, I just have because I like them, which is a fine reason to have things on your desk. But this one, so this, I don't even know where the camera is on this thing. Where is the camera? Anyway.
Oh, it's right there. We can see it.
Yeah. So this is a little hamster, a little guinea pig kind of thing. And the reason I have this is, remember way back when we started doing this and we were filming at my office, I have a guinea pig named Listo, who is my little office pet. And people hold him and people find comfort and they pet him and they play with him and he squeaks at them. He's very talkative these days. And so a girlfriend of mine was walking through some store somewhere in the world, saw this and went, "Oh, it's a little Listo." And so she went out of her way to buy this for me and give it to me. And it sits on my desk because here I don't have a Listo. I have my Listo at my office. But to me, this is a reminder not only of my cute little fuzzy guy at the office, but it's a reminder that people think of me and that people know what I like and they get me, because she knew I would love this little thing and it has sat on my desk and she gave it to me. So it's just a reminder that there are people out there who are thinking of you. There are people out there who are there for you. So a lot of the stuff on my desk is just things people have given me, but it's a reminder that I am thought of, that I am cared about, and that I'm important enough to people that I come to the forefront of their mind. And they don't have to buy me things, but I mean, there's just a little token of the fact that she thought of me, which I really appreciate, and it makes me feel special and loved and appreciated and all that stuff. So,
well, and I think, with that too, that it shows as well, there's multiple meanings behind a lot of these things, right? So again, you have Listo at work. Now you have a representation of him at home as well. So that's one benefit of it. But like you said, it's something that someone gave you as well, right? So again, it means something to you because of that as well. So, great.
Cool, it's a little one. Okay, I'll do my next one next. Okay, so this is, again, something somebody gave to me, but it was before one of my surgeries, and it is an angel that has Kathy on it. So it's one of those little customized things. The angel says, "God bless." She was a very spiritual person. She studied at Santa Monica University. She did a lot of transpersonal psychology and things like that. She was a very special client. She was probably one of my first clients. She moved away. We still keep in touch, but she gave this to me and said, this represents the angel that's always looking over you. I don't, we all have different spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs. I'm not religious at all, but I am spiritual. But I have this hung on I have a push pin board thing, and this hangs on one of the push pins. And it's just, again, it's always above me because it's higher than I am. So it is just a sort of representation of, we do have protection. We do have, I believe, we're being looked out for, and we are loved we're children of the universe, and we have that abundance, and we have that deserving of prosperity, abundance, love, joy, happiness, all those things. So this angel hovers above me and just reminds me that I'm divine.
You are divine. There you go. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next one is it's this little guy.
Nice.
It's a little turtle. Okay, now this is a different turtle, and it's one that it was an experience that I had that reminded me, or now the turtle represents something different to me. So this turtle actually I got, I don't know, a long time ago. I think it was in Chinatown
it looks like
San
one of those
Francisco.
sort of stone kind of, and I had one and I don't know where it is.
Yeah, so it's a little turtle, and he's standing on money.
Yes.
And so there's actually some, kind of from the Chinese tradition, there's some meaning behind that. But the reason that I've got boxes worth of little trinket stuff, and so I'll have to go through that as we keep doing more and more of these. But I pulled it out and put it on my desk for a reason. It was because of an experience that I had about a year ago, I guess, actually. So I signed up. I became part of a new mastermind group. Okay. And I went to the first in-person meeting that we had. And of course, again, I'm an introvert, right? And you were talking about those people at your party, kind of standing around like, ooh, somebody talk to me. No, nobody talk to me, please, kind of thing. I was probably kind of doing that at the beginning because at first, until I get to know people, sometimes I'm a little apprehensive. And I remember the leader of the group, he told me as we were talking, I was doing my hot seat, because the second day I showed up a little differently. And again, this goes back to kind of the ego states, right? And he told me, during the couple of days that we were there, he said, the first day that you showed up, I saw you like this little turtle with your head stuck in the shell, and you didn't want to peek your head out, right? Because, I'm not exactly sure why, but for some reason you were trying to protect yourself and you didn't want to stick your little neck out. And that just kind of hit me. And so I brought the turtle out of the box and put it back on my desk to remind me to be the turtle with the neck out. Right. And so to take those risks, to take those chances, to be myself, to show myself to the world instead of trying to hide away in my little shell.
Yeah.
So, again, it's one that, like I said, it was either Chinatown in San Francisco or in New York, but it was one of those two places that I got it. So it kind of reminds me of that trip.
Yeah.
But more so now too, this has taken on a different meaning for me because of that experience. And again, it's the reminder for me to be in the right ego state, stick my neck out, instead of being the little turtle up in his shell.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. Well, and it's not only the turtle sticking your neck out. There are some myths that believe that the world was formed on the back of a turtle. I don't remember what mythology system that is. There's also and the reason it's sitting on money is there's certain belief systems in Chinese spirituality that the turtle represents prosperity. There's also the whole tortoise and the hare thing, where it's about that slow and steady thing, which is where I thought you were going with that. I forgot about the go inside your shell thing, because I tend to speed through stuff. You tend to go into your shell. So it's like one of those representations where it can have different meanings to different people.
Yep.
Okay, we're running out of time again. All right, why don't you do your last one, and then we'll...
So my last one is this little contraption here, which looks a little bit weird, for everybody that's watching. Yeah, it's so what this is it's actually it's a grip exerciser, but it's designed instead of like a tension ball, where you just squeeze. It's got individual things that you can push with your fingers. And so, last time I think we talked about the fidget spinner. This is a similar kind of thing as the fidget spinner. So again, if I need to kind of, cross hemisphere myself, I can pick this up and start playing with it a little bit.
Yep.
But I do it with my left hand because this device is actually built for people who play the guitar.
Yeah.
So that we can actually strengthen our fingers to be able to make it easier when playing the guitar. So I'm actually, exercising my fingers in my hand as well. So this is kind of a multi-purpose thing as well, and probably something that most of you don't have sitting on your desk.
Right. That's really funny. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm torn. Okay, so I have multiple cards. Now, why do I have multiple cards, including one from Penn and Teller? I'm a huge fan of Magic. I'm at the Magic Castle all the time. I am frequently called on to, hey, lady, pick a card. And so it got to the point where I was getting so many cards that I had signed and picked. And of course, I always, here's a souvenir for you. And I'm thinking, if you knew how many signed cards I had at home. And when I started going to the castle, I kind of wish I would have kept them all, because by this point, I'd probably have 100. I've been going there for so long. But I have them taped to my desk. And the reason I do is it is a reminder to me of not only that thing that I love, but it's also about magic and transformation. It's a reminder to me that we can transmutate whatever we want into something different. There is this magic, there is this mystery, and it reminds me to go about things with newness, with fresh eyes, with that innocence of a child. It's one of the reasons I love magic is, the older we get, the less we see the magic in the world, the less we're in awe of things. And one of my favorite things at the castle, because I know I've seen most of the tricks, I can tell you how most of the tricks are done, is to see other people watch that trick and go, oh, no way, or holy shit. It's like I love watching adults have that experience that I get every time I'm at the castle. So that's why I have all these cards that are signed, because it reminds me one of my most favorite places in the world, but also reminds me that the magic is afoot, and that things are still mysterious, and we can find the awe in everyday things.
Well, that's why we keep talking about magic too, right, on the show in different points, because it is, there's that awe and wonder that really we should all be cultivating and trying to have in our life every day. I mean, there's amazing, wonderful things happening all around us all the time. A lot of things we can't explain because, we don't understand how the tricks are done, just like we don't understand, in magic sometimes how the tricks are done. But even when you know how they're done, it's still amazing to watch the craft of the magician performing it.
Totally. Well, and so many people have said, "Oh, you've seen all the tricks. What do you keep going? Or isn't it boring?" And it's like, you get to the point of, I know how the trick is done, but I don't see them doing it, which is a testament to their skill. And the pattern is always different. Each person has a different character, a different way of getting into that trick. And it's also a reminder of keeping things new. And I mean, we could do an entire show on magic, which I think we did.
We didn't, and I'm sure we will again.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, hey, we've blown through our time as always. Any final thought before we let everyone go to look at the things on their desk?
No, I think that's probably it for today, because I'm sure we'll be doing this again.
I'm sure we'll be doing this again. Excellent. I'm Kathy Gruver. I can be reached at kathygruver.com.
And I'm Jason Mefford. I can be reached at jasonmefford.com. Go out, have a great week, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Fire and Earth podcast. See ya.
Bye.